once again. In fact, this is my sixth part of my discussion on current electricity, and in this particular session, we will take a look at some of these concepts. In my previous session, we had discussed regarding the combination of resistances, wherein we had went ahead with an introduction. And in today's session, we'll take a look at some expressions for these combinations, the series combination and parallel combination. Okay, so in this part or today, we will take a look at firstly to derive the expression for effective or equivalent resistance in series combination, and then in under series combination again we'll take a look at some special cases. Then second type of combination, that is parallel combination. Under parallel combination again we'll take a look at some special cases. Okay, so these are the main things that we will be discussing today. Okay, so let us proceed to the discussion part. Now here initially I would like you people to recall some of the things that we have discussed last session, fifth session. So I would like to again make you recall the combinations, types of combinations. The series combination was the first one that we had discussed. Okay, so series combination has been defined to be as the combination in which current flows through each of the resistors will be same. Okay, whereas in and this is the diagram that we had taken a look last session. Okay, and similarly parallel combinations are those combinations of resistors wherein every individual resistor will have same potential difference across each of them, and this is the diagram that we had taken a look last session. Okay, so I hope you recalled back what we had discussed. Now let's move on to the main discussion, that is series combination. Fine. Now series combination, as we had defined exactly series combination to be the combination of resistances in which current through each of the resistances in the combination will remain same. So accordingly I want you to understand this concept very thoroughly and recall this particular definition very thoroughly. And now let us move on to finding the equivalent resistance of series combination of two resistors. Okay, so let us take a look at an equation. Okay, so we'll derive an equation for it, and this particular derivation will be asked in your examination for 3 marks. Okay, so first step, this is the circuit that you have to draw. Okay, so kindly make a note of this circuit by pausing this video, and then an equivalent circuit has to be drawn along with this, and I'll just explain to you what exactly these all things are. Now firstly, if you just understand about first circuit containing two resistances R1 and R2. Now if you just observe here, R1 and R2, both of them are connected in series, one besides the other. Okay, so accordingly they are connected by a cell of EMF capital V that has been shown, and the cell delivers a current of I into the circuit. Okay, so if we just observe the circuit further, then we understand one more important thing here, that current I will continue to flow through R1 and R2 in the same amount. Okay, so obviously that is why it is called as what? Series combination, correct? Okay, next if we just observe the circuit again, here you can see there are two potential differences, V1 and V2, which have been marked here. So R1 is having a potential difference of V1 and R2 is having a potential difference of V2 across it. Okay, so this is most important thing that you must show in the diagram. I hope it is clear. So we are showing the resistances R1 and R2 in series, and these combined resistances are connected by a cell here, and this cell's EMF is capital V that we are taking, and a current has to be shown flowing out of this cell starting from positive terminal. Okay, and then you must never forget to show the potential differences V1 and V2 here. Fine. So are we clear on these two? Fine. So this diagram is clear, I suppose. Now let's move on to the equivalent circuit diagram here, what we have drawn. In case of equivalent circuit diagram, we are showing one single resistance RS, okay, and this RS is connected across same cell of potential difference V here, okay, and current I is same here flowing through the circuit. Fine. So this is one equivalent circuit that you must draw. Okay, fine. Now let's move on to the derivation part of it. Okay, so firstly we'll make some assumptions. So first we'll say consider two resistors of resistances R1 and R2 in series combination. Okay, you can also say as shown in the diagram, and then we will assume some of the things like let capital V is equal to EMF of the cell, then V1 is equal to PD across resistance R1. Okay, PD means potential difference, then V2 is equal to PD across resistance R2. Okay, then capital I we are taking it to be current flowing through the circuit. Okay, so these are the first steps of assumptions that you have to keep. I hope it is clear. Now let's move further. Let us proceed. Now in this particular part here we will be considering the Ohm's law equation. As you all know, Ohm's law is given by V is equal to IR. So according to that particular approach only we have to go, and in this particular part, so we will say as V1 and V2 are the potential differences across R1 and R2 respectively, then very clearly V1 must be equal to I into R1, V2 must be equal to I into R2. Okay, then if we sum up V1 and V2, will we not get total EMF delivered or given by the cell? Okay, so obviously V must be equal to sum of the potential differences across the two cells. Okay, so we have to write down this. Then we'll take V1 is equal to I into R1, will substitute, V2 is equal to I into R2, thus we'll get second step. Then in the third step we'll take common factor, that is current I, because current is same through each of the resistances, so accordingly current is common here, so we'll take it out as a common in the equation, and then we will cross multiply it to write it as V divided by I is equal to R1 plus R2. Okay, so this is first stage that you should remember. Okay, then after this let us assume one resistance which can replace both these resistances R1 and R2. That means it is also known as an equivalent resistance. What is an equivalent resistance? The resistance which can completely replace the two resistors in series under same potential difference. So obviously if I am replacing both the resistances R1 and R2 by RS, then very clearly V divided by I must be equal to what? RS here. Fine. So if you just notice that particular equivalent circuit diagram, in that we have shown the same thing, right? RS we have shown, and accordingly same potential difference, same current, so very clearly V divided by I will give us what? RS only. So if we use V by I is equal to RS in the equation, then RS will be equal to R1 plus R2, and this is the required expression that we are supposed to derive. Okay, so I hope this derivation is clear. Okay, fine. So kindly write down this derivation, practice it 100%. Okay, and then try to memorize and rewrite this back, because this particular derivation is one of the important derivations that can be asked in the exam. Okay, now let's proceed to the next part, that is special case on this particular series combination. Okay. Now, special case, in case of series combination, we are having one special case. That special case we can write it as if there are n number of resistors, each of resistance R in series combination. Okay. So remember, if there are n number of resistances, each of the resistance capital R taken in series combination. Okay. Then we can say Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus so on up to Rn. This is according to the equation that we have derived just now. Okay. So accordingly, we can say, but R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 equal to so on up to Rn equal to what? R only. So for that reason, again we will replace every of these R1, R2, R3, Rn by R only. Thus we can say Rs is equal to R plus R plus R plus so on up to n. So we are adding R up to n, correct? So accordingly, Rs will become equal to R into sigma of 1, summation of 1 up to n times. Summation of 1 up to n times is nothing but n here. So accordingly, we can say Rs is equal to n into R. So this is our special case number 1 that we should remember in case of series combination. So I hope it is clear. Fine. So let us proceed to the next part of our discussion, that is on parallel combination. In case of parallel combination of resistances, as you can notice here, we are I am showing the diagram, circuit diagram, as well as the equivalent circuit diagram. Now in this particular case, again I suggest you please pause this video, draw the circuit diagram and equivalent circuit diagram accordingly. Now in this particular circuit diagram, firstly if you just observe here, we are considering two resistances R1 and R2 which are connected one below the other, correct? One below the other they are connected. Obviously they are in parallel combination. Okay. And what is the definition of parallel combination? We know that the potential difference across R1 and R2 is same. Okay. But current need not be same here. And as you notice here, total current delivered by the cell or battery is I here, capital I. But it gets branched into two parts. First, current through R1, there will be current I1. Secondly, current I2 will be flowing through R2. So accordingly, we'll have two currents here, I1 and I2, and sum of I1 and I2 must give us what? I. And nextly, if we just observe here in the equivalent circuit diagram, again we are seeing that Rp has been shown here. Rp is an equivalent resistance which replaces these two parallel resistors. Okay, and current I is same here, potential difference V is same here. So accordingly, we can comfortably understand what the equivalent circuit here. And I have already defined what is equivalent resistance. Okay, so accordingly, let us proceed to the derivation. And in order to proceed to the derivation, again we'll make certain considerations and assumptions. So let us consider two resistors of resistances R1 and R2 in parallel combination. Okay, then again we will make some assumptions. Okay, so we'll say let capital V is equal to EMF of the cell and hence the common potential difference across R1 and R2. This point you must mention. Okay, next, I1 is the current flowing through resistance R1. Similarly, I2 is current flowing through resistance R2. Okay. Now, these are some basic requirements for the derivations. Now, let us proceed to the actual derivation. Okay. And here again, we should not forget about current I. Current I I'm mentioning again, and that I'm assuming once again. Okay, now without much ado, let's move to the derivation here. This particular part of assumption is clear to you. Okay, circuit diagram is clear to you. So I suggest you pause the video, draw the circuit diagram. I am once again mentioning this, and try to memorize the circuit very comfortably, and never ever forget to draw the equivalent circuit. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the derivation here. As I1 and I2 are the currents flowing through R1 and R2 respectively, then accordingly I1 will become equal to V by R1, I2 is equal to V by R2. Are we okay with this? This is according to Ohm's law, my friends. V is equal to IR. So in that particular case, V is equal to IR. That means I is equal to V divided by R. So accordingly, I1 equal to V by R1 and I2 equal to V by R2. Okay. Now let's proceed to the next step. Now let us sum up I1 and I2. As I was mentioning earlier, sum of I1 and I2 is nothing but what? I. So we are having capital I is equal to I1 plus I2. Fine. Okay. Then let us substitute back I1, I2 values that we have defined in the above part. Okay. So obviously, accordingly, I will become equal to V by R1 and plus V by R2. Now again, common factor is what? V here. Let us take out that V as a common factor, and then we'll write this particular equation as I equal to V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Now accordingly, if we cross multiply here, then we get I divided by V is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Do we agree on this? Okay. So accordingly, now let us make assumption of equivalent circuit again, equivalent resistance. Let us say RP is the equivalent resistance of these two parallel resistors that we are considering. So accordingly, we can say that this RP becomes equal to V divided by I equal to RP. Is it not? Okay. But in the equation, my friends, what we have here? We have I divided by V. So is it not the simple reciprocal of V by I? So accordingly, we can very clearly go to the next step and mention this particular fact as what? Here we can write, therefore I by V is equal to 1 by RP. So accordingly, we can say 1 by RP is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is the expression that we are looking for. Okay. So I hope this particular derivation is clear. So remember, we have dealt with series combination, equivalent resistance, then special case in case of series combination, then parallel combination and its equivalent resistance. Now let us move ahead to the special cases in case of parallel combination. Now if we just observe here, we just tend to see that in case of parallel combination of resistors, there are two special cases. Okay. So first special case I am considering, if two resistors of resistances R1 and R2 are in parallel combination, then under that situation 1 by RP will become equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. This is as per our derivation that we have done. Okay. Then very clearly 1 by RP equal to R1 plus R2 by R1 R2. This is by taking LCM and adjusting everything and writing. Now let us take the reciprocal of it. If we take the reciprocal, we'll get RP is equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So my friends, this particular expression that we have derived here, okay, this you can use directly in problems. Instead of writing this equation every time, say 1 by RP is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Suppose if you have two resistors given in the problem, okay, under that situation directly you can apply the equation that we have derived. Okay. So I suppose this can save a lot of time, is it not? So directly we'll get equivalent resistance in parallel combination. Okay. So this is special case number 1 for you, my friends. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the second special case. So now in case of second special case, okay, special case number 2, we will consider n number of resistors of same resistance connected in parallel combination. Okay. So under that situation, we will be following the same technique technique that we have followed in previous case. Okay, so here 1 by rp will become equal to 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2 plus 1 by r3 plus so on up to 1 by rn. Okay, then we also know that r1 equal to r2 equal to r3 equal to so on up to rn is equal to what? R. Okay, so very clearly if we substitute these all values by one single r, then we'll get the equation like 1 by r summed up to n times. Correct. Then nextly we also if we just take out 1 by r as common, then we add up everything, we will get it to be sigma 1. Sigma 1 is nothing but what? 1. So sigma 1 is nothing but n here. So accordingly 1 by rp will become equal to n divided by r. Okay, so next finally hence we'll take the reciprocal and we'll write rp is equal to r divided by n. So rp equal to r by n is the special case, my friends, that we must remember. Okay, in the problems if you just happen to see some n number of same resistances connected in parallel, then directly you can write the equivalent resistance as r divided by n. Say for example, if there are 10 resistances having each of the resistances say 10 ohm, then what is the equivalent resistance? 10 divided by 10. Okay, let me take one more example. If there are 5 resistances having all of them having a resistance of 5 ohm or 10 ohm, let us say. Okay, then 10 ohm is the resistance of individual resistor and number of resistances are 5 here. So capital R is how much? 10 and small n is 5. So accordingly we'll get this as what? I hope you can calculate it, right? So this is the approach that we have to adopt. Okay, so I hope this particular part is clear and special cases are clear to you. Okay, so for the sake of your betterment, I am not discussing too many things in this particular session because already we have dealt with many derivations. So I suggest each of these particular derivations you be thorough. Okay, then let us move further in my next session. Okay, because there are a series of derivations that we have to deal with. So I'll go very slow, don't worry. Okay, I'll go something like 3 to 4 derivations in every session. So accordingly you can practice thoroughly. Okay, so I suppose this part was clear. Okay, fine. So I would like to take a leave now. So I would like to say thank you each and everyone for being so patient with my lecture. Okay, and I would like to say practice the derivations. Once again I am saying this. Okay, and then I would say be thorough with each of them. I'll see you all soon. Okay, thank you. Have a nice time. See you. Bye bye.